Okay, so there is mayhem happening in Madagascar, a major coup d'etat. Yes, and the government has asked the army to shoot on protesters. Did the army shoot an unalive civilians? We're going to find out about this. Yes, fellas, it's happening in Madagascar. Crazy stuff at this very moment. Now, a youth-led protest has spurred mayhem and havoc in the cities, and many people are down on the floor. There's major fear all across the country, and I know a lot of people ask me to speak about this, and we're going to talk about this. This is Madagascar on a map. You see that? Yes, Madagascar is not that cartoon you watch on TV. No, it's not that. No. Madagascar is actually a real country in Africa. And sometimes when you see the African map, unfortunately, they tend to omit Madagascar. And that is very sad. Yeah, people will show you this, but they will not show you this with Madagascar next to it. And that's not only Madagascar. There's also Sao Tome and Principe. You see on the map? Yeah, that's Sao Tome and Principe. Many people don't talk about it. Let's get back on track. Okay, what's happening in Madagascar? This is crazy stuff. There is crisis in Madagascar, fellas. A youth-led protest erupted in Madagascar. People were very angry and they came down the street. What was the protest about? People were very angry over electricity, water shortage, corruption, and economic hardship. So electricity, water shortage, corruption, and economic hardship. And I know this is not something very new to you. In a lot of countries, you see such things. Yes, fellas, in many African countries, unfortunately, you still find places where electricity is not permanent. It's not 24 hours a day. In some countries, people get electricity for 3 hours, then it's darkness. And it's very sad. Now, in Madagascar, they had enough, and that was not to be continued. That's why the youth came down the street very angry. Now, why is there no electricity in Madagascar, you're asking yourself? Number one, aging infrastructure. Madagascar's power grid and generation facilities are decades old and poorly maintained. You know, in Africa, in many cases, sometimes even the colonizer will come and build infrastructure, and the colonizer will leave. And Africans will not maintain what the colonizer nor upgrade did in the country. And this is very, very sad. Now, let me put it this way for you. Let's say whoever created the electricity grid planned it for 100 people. Okay, well, he left now. You have the country. You've been making babies like little flies. You have about 20,000 people or 30,000 living in a power grid that was supposed to take care of 100 people. And you don't pay attention to that. You don't upgrade or maintain. What do you expect? You're going to have load shedding. You can't have enough electricity to supply to everybody because initially it was planned for 100 people. That is one of the biggest problems of Madagascar. Now, how do you get to that? Very simple. Corruption. Because the people that are in power, instead of managing the country correctly, they will use the funds that are allocated to construction and development and maintenance for their own purposes. Like I always say about it, they will build their personal houses, they will marry a second, a third, and a fourth wife, and spend money on a side chick, completely neglecting infrastructure that are crucial to the country. Now, in most cases in Africa, it works because a lot of Africans are cowards. Okay, they have no courage, like the Malagasi's, to come in the street and push the president out. And a lot of Africans are traitors. Okay, if you dare come in the street and fight the president, your neighbor will go tell on you and they will take you out. So many Africans are scared to actually stand and fight for the freedom because you never know, maybe the neighbor's been reporting on you and you might just disappear at night. Let's continue. Number two, the Malagasy accuses a company named Jirama of corruption. What is Jirama? Jirama is a country that processes electricity and water distribution in the country. So Jirama is a state-owned company. Now, the country accuses Jirama of prioritizing elites only above everybody else. Meaning when it comes to electricity, they will supply to elites. We're talking about businessmen, politicians, and Senate first. And water. And other people will suffer. You know, it's very sad because this is a reality of many countries in Africa again. People are happy provided they are drinking champagne. They don't worry about anybody else. So it doesn't matter for many people if Mr. T or Mr. G had no food at all. Provided they had food, they don't give a continent. Demonstrators accuse the government of 16 years of inaction, targeting institutions like Senate, Electoral Commission, and Constitutional Court as an elitist and ineffective. So basically they're saying you running the country like shit. Yes, so these people have courage. Malagasy people were brave enough to tell the country government that you are running the country like shit and now you're going to get out. African countries in this big bloc don't have the guts to do that. Only few countries, and unfortunately, like in Kenya, people came in the street fighting some sort of a fake tax that the government came up with. You know, government needs money and sometimes they misuse money. That's how they don't have money. You know, they have money, but then they misuse money. They don't use the money for the things they needed the money for. Then they're going to have to milk the people to make them pay more tax. And then the people of Kenya came in the street fighting over that. And unfortunately, some other Kenyans went to accuse these Kenyans, and those Kenyans got arrested. And that's very sad. Well, this is not the reality of Madagascar. In Madagascar, everybody came in the street fighting against the elite. They're accusing them of 16 years of misuse of the country's fund. They need to respond. Well, the protest succeeded because something interesting happened. When the people were protesting in the street, some of the government members asked the military to shoot down the protesters in the street. Yes, shoot them down, because this is what happens a lot. It happened in Kenya too. You know, they shot a couple of people. That's the way they scare the majority of the civilians. Shoot 2 or 3, they're going to run away. They won't come back. It happens in many places in Africa too. Well, in Madagascar, they asked the military to shoot down the civilians running for their right. Guess what the military did? They said, no, we're not doing that. Sorry, sir, but we are not doing that.
Let us be united, soldiers, gendarmes and police. Do not let money bribe us into shooting our friends, brothers and sisters. We are the people. Return to the population.
So a soldier has the right and the capability to refuse an order if he deems it to be unacceptable, inadequate. Unfortunately, many don't do that. They don't have the guts because they're scared. When they stand like that, they might just get finished, if not unalived. Well, the military in Madagascar stood up next to the people. They say, no, enough is enough. Maybe the president needs to go. It's about time. The president of Madagascar, this man right here, he tried to dissolve the parliament to save himself. You know, this is what they do when things get very rough and difficult and he cannot make decisions anymore. He will dissolve the parliament. Well, he tried to do it over his cell phone or social media, and that didn't work very well. Now, this man right here, Colonel Michael Radririna, so he has just murdered his name right there, he backed the protester. Part of the military declared a takeover, dissolving the governing bodies.
From now on, all orders of the Malagasy army, whether air, land, sea, will originate from Capsat headquarters.
So remember again, politicians are not the most powerful people in the country. I know they think they are, but they're not. The people are, but the people need to be supported by the army. I mean, look at Ibrahim Traoré, Mali and Niger. These are the people that have taken over the countries from politicians, because politicians in most cases are just thieves. The majority of politicians in Africa are just thieves. I mean, people do politics in Africa not because they want to fix the countries, not at all. They do it because they want to be rich. They want to travel to Shanghai and Hong Kong without a visa. That's what they do it for. Listen, politicians in Africa behave like movie stars. Did you know that? They behave like movie stars. They think they're the shit. Now, who was the ousted president? Well, the ousted president used to be a mogul, a media mogul, an entrepreneur. He owned the Viva TV and radio. So he was prominent as a person. And using his media, he made a lot of coverage for himself until he became a mayor. And once he became a mayor, he had so much following that he ousted the previous president. So the current president also ousted another president through coup. In 2009, Rajola led a mass protest against the then president Mark Ravamolonana. Sorry, I murdered his name too, accusing him of authoritarianism and corruption. Now remember, again, one thing. Why are they ousting him? Because of corruption, mismanagement, and many other things. Why did he oust the previous president? Because of authoritarianism and corruption. So the same thing they kicked the previous president out is the same thing he's being kicked out for. It's crazy stuff. Now, the other thing this president is accused of is his dual citizenship. Now, he's a president of Madagascar. He also holds a passport from France. Now, people are asking, like, who are you truly loyal to? You have a French passport and Malagasy passport. I mean, I don't know if presidents should be able to hold two passports. I just don't know about that. You know, it's just crazy stuff. He's been saved at the last minute from an aeroplane from France that took him out of Madagascar to a next country. And people say that he has gone actually to his real country where he belongs. Now, this president was first discovered by many people through COVID. You remember during COVID? when the Europeans blocked everything, there was knockdown and lockdowns everywhere across the world. He said Madagascar had found something interesting to cure COVID. Artemisia, okay? It was a drink, a concoction that Africans in Madagascar were drinking to prevent COVID-19 from developing. Interestingly, for many, many months, none of the Malagasy was unalived. And the Europeans were very interested to understand what was in that concoction that Malagasy people were drinking. And crazily, a German firm, after getting some sample from this very special drink, crazily, a couple of days after, people started dying in Madagascar. Now, some people believe that after they took that sample, they tweaked and twitched the virus in a way that that concoction could not protect it anymore. I mean, people talk a lot of things. Is it true or not? We don't know. Question mark. Was this president faithful to his country, or was he faithful to the French? Well, many people believe he opened major doors to French companies. In matter of fact, the French Army's national uniform was being sold in Madagascar. It was being put together in Madagascar, no more in France. And people were asking the question, why? Obviously, it cost much cheaper in Madagascar, but this is the French Army national uniform. I mean, why would you give it to a foreign firm? I mean, we're talking about France. This is not like a shithole country in Africa. This is France. And I know you feel triggered by that. You should be feeling triggered by that. So you don't be shithole no more. Doesn't make sense, right? Let me know how you feel about this, fellas. Do you think Africa can learn something? What can Africans learn? Fellas, how do Chinese people feel about black people? Have you ever asked yourself a question? How do Chinese people in general really feel about black people? Where do they put us? Okay, I think there are very interesting accounts on the internet. And as I was browsing, trying to find something interesting, somebody sent me something very, very interesting. It's basically an account of a young lady, young black girl in a car that looked like Uber. I'm not sure whether Chinese people use Uber, but it looked like it was in China because she spoke Mandarin with the driver. The driver was a Chinese man, speaking to a client in a car. And the Chinese man seemed to be wanting to tell the truth. He asked her whether she wanted to know the truth on how Chinese people feel about black people. And he told her, listen, we don't intermingle with you. We don't marry you. We're not friends with you because we feel like we, yellow people, if we mix with black people, we have black kids. And black kids generally are not very intelligent in school. So it's going to be us watering down on the good things that we have to be with you. So in other words, black people are stupid. Naturally, they don't learn, they don't grow. And for a Chinese person, mingling or marrying or getting an account with a black person, it's a waste. Listen to this.
因为我们中国人说你们这个黑颜色的不生了小孩是黑色，这一点顾虑也是很大的。因为我们是黄颜色，万一生了孩子是黑色，是不是在学校里都说这
He mentioned the word filtering. We don't want to be filtering our Chinese into making black babies. It's like black is filtering Chinese genes. Wow, let's go.
小黑孩在学校里学习都不好学，真的
不好学。
有很多人吧，他都是喜欢白色的，白色的生了小孩子是白的。你看我们这里人都是黄颜色的多，生了皮肤白的人都喜欢白色的小孩。
She looks disappointed.
小孩子，
我们这边一句古话就这样说的：“一白遮三丑。”明白这句话的意思吧？
不太明白。
就是这个意思，就是说人白了之后，就显得格外的漂亮。
So this is very interesting because this is very straightforward. And first of all, I think it's good that it comes straight from the lion's mouth, if we may say it that way, because then this exposes a lot of things. Because usually we find a lot of people trying to defend Chinese and how they feel about black people, and usually they say it's because it's a different culture. They've never seen a black man. We've seen old videos of Chinese people trying to touch black people's hair. Asking them questions along the lines of, if you were put in the rain, would you lose your color? Trying to rub on the skin to see if the color will come out. Many things like that we see, and many people say it's because of ignorance and stuff like that. Well, I think the driver has been very clear. He said black people are not smart. Black kids don't do good in school, and we don't want to be filtering our Chinese because we are yellow people. We want clear. We want white. The whiter people are, the smarter they are. And that's a very interesting question. Chinese people believe the whiter people are, the smarter they are. The darker they get, the more stupid they get, or the stupider if you prefer. Is he telling lies? Question mark. And I think we need to look into this because it's very interesting. Now, many people defend Chinese saying, well, they don't understand and blah, 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 blah. Some people also say Chinese are racist. Now, my question to you is this ignorance or racism? Because do Chinese people feel superior to black people? It's clear. You just need to go to an African country and see how Chinese people treat Africans. They beat them up. Yes, if a black person works for Chinese, in many cases you will see, we've seen videos. So the question is, would you beat up somebody you respect? I'm not sure about that. We've seen in Zambia where Chinese held black people hostage during COVID, saying to them, you cannot return to your families. You cannot return to your families. You need to stay at work for months. Don't return to your family because we don't want you to bring COVID at work. Forgetting that COVID came from them, from China at least, okay? And there was a mayor from, I believe, Zambia, the capital, that was very upset about that. He went to this office and asked the Chinese responsible to free these men, to allow them to go see their families. How can you hold these people hostage in this place?
Your workers have told me that you don't allow them to go home. So I want to find out why you kept them for 2 weeks. And we've seen where they sleep. Mm-hmm. Why is that so? Why don't you allow them to knock off?
No, we're not allow them to go home because the corona issue.
The corona issue?
It makes no sense. Where did COVID come from? He was asking the Chinese man. I mean, do you do that to somebody you respect? Would the Chinese do that to a European man? Let's say, look, there are Chinese companies in Europe, right? Would they do such thing to European men? Absolutely not. I think it's interesting, as much as this looks like racism, to look into ourselves as well. I mean, let's watch the next video first so we can hear, okay? From an Asian perspective. Let's listen.
Asian community is literally so anti-black, and it literally fucking pisses me off. Like, we are literally so uneducated, uninformed, just misinformed, everything about the black community, and it pisses me off. And like, it just boggles my mind how a lot of Asians see black people as beneath them. I shit you not, I literally saw someone on my story and I literally was so gagged. Like, I was like, are you serious right now? And I sent him a message, ask him if he's being serious about this. This guy is Bhutanese. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, but like, I guess he got like some kind of spray tan or whatever because he's doing some kind of stupid movie shoot or whatever. Roy posts on his story and says, because his skin is like 10 shades darker or something, he said, can I say the N-word now? With a ninja emoji next to it. I slid up so fucking...
That's interesting, an Asian woman saying that they perceive black people as inferior. Let's listen to the next video, okay? Let's go. Okay. This is a video showing a Chinese child and an African child. An African child is dancing and the Chinese child is working. So what you see here is African kids are dancing. They're dancing. They're dancing. While the Chinese kid is learning how to build things, how to put things together. Getting his brain ready for the real world. Getting his brain ready for the fight of survival. Getting his brain ready for domination. In the meantime, what is the black kid doing? Dancing. And I know some people may say, well, the Chinese kid is at school, and well, the child that's black in skin is also at school. Or you may say maybe he's at break time. Well, when he gets in school for real, what does he learn? Besides math, if not math, maybe geography. Most of the things black kids learn in school are not practically usable in real life. It is not usable because in most cases, no black parent wants their child to learn how to fix bricks or put woods together or do no, they don't. They want you to be in a computer office, in a climatized computer office. Nobody learns the basics, the things that people actually need in the future, in the real life. And it's very sad because we encourage that. We encourage our kids to dance because we call that being happy. We encourage our kids to pray, but we don't encourage them to learn beyond what they learn in school. This is crazy. Now, how can a Chinese person respect black people if black people do not produce anything at all? Even matches for cigarettes need to be imported from other countries. Your shirt, your pants, your socks, your toothpaste, everything, your tampon for women have to come from another country. How will they respect you? How will they respect you? I mean, you want to be considered and respected. You know, you don't want to be perceived inferior. What do you produce not to be considered inferior? I'm just asking a question. I mean, for you to not be inferior, you must be at least equal. Now, are you just by default equal? I don't know. When you pick two dogs, one is clearly smarter, looking, watching, aware of what's happening, and the other dog is just wink, 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 wink. Which one do you pick? Do you consider them equal? Or you say, no, well, this one is the one, the white dog is the one I want because he's clearly aware of what's happening. He's going to protect us against thieves and people that are, he's going to be aware of what's happening. This other dog just looks stupid and eats from anybody. I mean, I know we're not dogs, but I'm just giving you a simple example. Let's go to the next video. So in this video, you see a Chinese man speaking to a black man. The black man, I believe, is from the Congo, DRC. They went to the Congo to repair, I think, the railway for the train. And it was just very difficult because the infrastructure was really out of hand. And I believe the Chinese came to Africa, especially to Congo, to do another project. But the railroad was really, really out of hand. And he was telling the black man, like, what have you learned after colonization? You were colonized, right? By the Belgians after they left you. You didn't keep anything? What have you done with the infrastructure they'd built? Could you not even maintain it? Like, what kind of people are you? Instead of moving forward in life, you've actually moved backward. Let's watch.
你们受欧洲国家管理这么长时间，应该是学到了很多先进的管理经验。
哪有多少时间？没多少时间了。我们炒那个要那个国经济。
50 years of independence a few weeks ago.
现在是50年，自己50年那个。
就是50年以前，你不是受他们
50年以前什么都好啊。
是啊，那个先进的影响，那个代代往传下来，越传越文明越发达了，怎么越来越倒退，越落后了？ 你看这么先进的铁路，我1930几年就有电气化铁路，我这是中国啥时候才有电气化铁路的？你看矿区那个铁路，电气化那双轨铁路。
He says the technology you have on the railway, we didn't even have it in China. Okay, we didn't have it in China. It's 1930s technology. We didn't have it. You had it already, but you couldn't even maintain that. You couldn't build from that. Let's continue.
因为架得多好，你看现在顶上那个什么，哎呀，千疮百孔啊。 破烂不堪了，把原有留下的东西根本没有更加的爱护保护去留。
He says it will take the generations to build things right. Look at the black man. Look at his face. The man is disappointed in not just himself but his community. Like really, how do you call this racism?
他是
If I have money, I drink only. Listen to the Chinese.
今人有酒今人醉，明人没酒喝凉水，就这样子。
Very, very sad. How do you blame somebody like this if he thinks he's superior to you? I'm just asking. How do you call it racism and stuff like that? Is it still racism? Well, it sounds like racism. Would you blame him for thinking that he's superior? I don't know about that. Let's move to the next video.
Africa after decolonization was more or less the forgotten continent. Western countries did not want to engage it for whatever reason. China went in. China treated every African country as brother and sister, and China really invested hugely in Africa. Now, many other countries are talking about engaging with Africa, including the United States, many European countries, India, for example. The more the better, because Africa should not be a monopoly for any other country, not for China, not for anyone else. Africa is for the African people.
Well, Chinese know exactly how to speak to Africans, make you feel like you have a choice, okay? We're not here to colonize you. We're not here to do what the white people did to you, okay? And we want to give you a choice. But in the meantime, are you actually learning from the Chinese or they're utilizing you? Let's watch the last video. Let's go.
Before you become a primary teacher, think of this.
Where is the teacher? The teacher is under the table. Where is the teacher? The teacher is under the table.
the teacher is under the table. Whilst the teachers in China are teaching Chinese kids how to actually practically do things, the teacher in Africa is teaching kids. Where is the teacher? The teacher is under the table. Put yourself in a Chinese man's shoe. No. Just imagine you were born Chinese and you're looking into Africans. What would you think? Let's go.
Where is the teacher? The teacher is on top of the table. Where is the teacher? The teacher is.
Whose wife is this?
Where is the teacher? The teacher is behind the table.
This has to stop. Okay, this really has to stop. That's what it is, fellas. The question remains the same. In the beginning of the video, we watched a young girl being explained to by a Chinese driver, saying to him that the reason why we don't mingle with you, we don't mix with you, is because we don't want to filter ourselves down to what you are. Number one, things are changing across the world. Relationships and friendships are not forever things. They change. Okay, matter of fact, they say countries have no friends. Countries only have interest. Okay, countries, especially Western countries, okay, they have no friends, they have interest. If the interest is good, you become a friend. If there's no much interest in you, you're not a friend at all. And that is something many Africans don't understand that. Because Africans believe everybody that smiles at you is a friend. That is how colonizers came and took over Africa, because they came with friendly smiles, taking you about, we're bringing you a new God, a God that actually listens and functions. I don't know, as if Africans' prayer back in the past never used to go anywhere. I'm just asking, the prayers of Africans before they arrive on the continent, was it be exhausted? Was it be listened to by God or not? Was God listening to African prayers back before the other people came or not? Crazy stuff. Well, Botswana, yes, Botswana, you see on the map, beautiful place, lovely people of Botswana, where something drastic has happened. The UK has imposed visa requirement on Botswana. The United Kingdom now requests visas for all Botswana nationals, including for short visits. This is crazy. This is crazy because they never used to need this. Okay, there was no need for this before. Look at this country here, Namibia. The Germans, many years ago, went to Namibia and they unalived many Namibians. That was one of the first genocide in the world, of this era. They unalived the Herero people and many other nations in Namibia just because they didn't want to listen to them and obey them. They killed many of them because they did so much atrocity. Botswana, which was a free country back in time, decided to cooperate with the British so the British could sort of take them as a protectorate to protect them from the Germans because they didn't want to be subjected to that type of situation. Very, very sad. Now, Botswana has had a very good relationship with many countries. It's actually one of the most peaceful countries in Africa, one of the best democracy in Botswana. Let's talk about Botswana very quickly before we get into the detail. Number one, Botswana has the highest elephant density in Africa. Yes, Botswana hosts over 130,000 elephants, the largest population in the continent. So if you want to go to a country where you're definitely going to see elephants, it's Botswana. I'm not sure whether they eat elephant for dinner, but yeah, there's a lot of elephant in Botswana. Number two, Botswana is the world top producer of high quality diamonds, with the industry contributing over 80% of its export revenue and nearly 1/3 of its GDP. So Botswana is a lot of diamonds. People talk about diamonds. Yeah, in Botswana, you're going to find out. Look at the size of that diamond. Look at this one. The biggest diamond in the world in Botswana, my brother. Botswana is widely regarded as Africa's most stable democracy. That's number three, fellas. We're talking civil liberties and press freedom are generally respected in Botswana. They respect you in Botswana. You can date whoever you want, brother. Not just because she's a girl that some sort of a military dude or a colonel or general likes, you disappear. Yeah, in Africa, my brother, you go after a woman and some general want her, you disappear. They won't see you. Even if the girl doesn't want the guy, you will disappear. Some African countries are real shithole countries. I'm telling you, shithole countries. Let's say there's two ways to go. You go on a car this way and that way. You see a car coming against you just because it's a colonel or a general, and you open your mouth, you're going to disappear. Well, that doesn't happen in Botswana. It's a peaceful, respectful country. You know, the police won't just break into your house and tell you, hey, oh God, get. No, none of that. Look at this. This is in Nigeria, okay? This is in Nigeria. They're slapping someone. Imagine the policeman or serviceman beating somebody up just because he's wearing uniform. In Nigeria, just because you're wearing uniform, you can do whatever you want to a civilian with zero accountability. And y'all talking about a country. This is crazy. I'm sorry. I'm not attacking Nigeria. This is not limited to Nigeria. You'll see it in most African countries. But Botswana is not like that. People are treated with respect. It's a country. In Botswana, something very, very good that you're probably going to lack. The government will pay you $20,000 to marry as many wives as you can. Yes, fellas. If you want a wife, you get 20,000. You get a second wife, you get another 20,000. Why? Because there are too many women, too many beautiful women, very little number of men. So the parliament voted about this. They're not going to give you 20,000, but you must be 6'1" minimum. No short man, no big stomach. I'm just kidding. I'll say you can. Anyway, let's get back on track. Now, the UK has imposed restriction on Botswana. Now, Botswana people will need visas before they go to the UK. Back in time, they had a good relationship. People from Botswana could just, hop on a flight and go to the UK. Unlike people from Ghana, Uganda, Tanzania, where they have to go sit on the line, wait and pray and fast, hoping that the embassy will respect them enough to give them their passport back clean. Botswana could actually go to the UK with no problems. Now, the UK accused Botswana of misuse of this policy. What they're saying is, number one, they see a surge of people applying for asylum. Okay, there are people applying for asylum. It's never happened before. But since 2022, they've seen people from Botswana applying for asylum in the UK. Botswana people usually go and don't stay. Okay, they go to other people's countries and come back. I'm sorry, don't get it wrong. Many African people will go to your country. If you're American, they will not come back. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest with you, and I'm telling you the truth. I'm always going to tell you the truth here. And whoever doesn't like it, you can call me out and we're going to fight. Okay, I'm down. We can fight. How you want, bare knuckles or with gloves, we can fight anyhow you want. Just write me a letter, fine, we can fight. Okay, many African people will go to America and return because they believe life in America is much better than Africa. Is it true? Question mark. Well, many people will say to you, America is not necessarily better. I mean, you're going to have to work 3 jobs to maintain a lifestyle you can maintain without working in Africa. I'm just being honest with you. Africa is not that bad after all. We have running water. We have food. Look at the food. Look at these big houses. This is in Africa. You don't believe that story they tell you about around the land that we're suffering in Africa and a lion came into our compound. We had to run away to America. None of that. Now, Botswana people don't go to other people's countries and stay forever. Like Ghanaians do, like Nigerians do, like Cameroonians do, like Senegalese do, like Congolese do. I'm being honest here. Botswana will go back to Botswana. Well, since 2022, they noticed that Botswana people have been registered as asylum seekers. So something has changed. Well, look into the policy of Botswana. Something has changed as well. Botswana has got this new program, the Golden Passport Route. Botswana recently rolled out a Golden Passport scheme offering citizenship through investment. Okay, this could be one of the reasons why they're going through this. So what is this Golden Passport scheme? It's basically if you have $75,000, okay, you invest in Botswana, you can get a passport. Why? Because Botswana wants to diversify their means of income. Diamond has been one of the main means of income for the country, accounting to 1/3 of the GDP. So they want you to invest into electricity, energy, investment, and many other things. If you're willing to deposit $75,000, they're going to give you the passport. And obviously, now people from other countries are investing in that money, to get the passport. Why would you want a passport from Botswana? You're probably asking yourself. Because Botswana is one of the toppest passports in Africa. One of the best passports in Africa, where you can go to many countries as much as 85 destination visa free. Okay, let me just cite you some of the countries that are top when it comes to passport power. Okay, we have number 1, Seychelles. Seychelles number 1 in Africa with 156 destinations for free. Number 2 is Mauritius, 149 destinations for free. Number 3 is South Africa with 103 destinations for free. Number 4 is Botswana with 85 destinations. Number 5 is Namibia then Lesotho, then Eswatini, Malawi, Morocco. What do you notice? And Kenya, number 10. What do you notice? Seychelles, Mauritius, South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, Lesotho, Eswatini, Malawi. It's Southern African countries. Now, except for Seychelles, Southern African countries seem to be respected more in the world like other countries. Maybe because they are democratic in reality, where no general can actually just pick you up and throw you in the dustbin and walk free. Like in Nigeria. Forget about Nigeria right now. You don't want to trigger my Nigerian brothers right now. Now, so that's one of the accusations. The other accusation is some people are going to Botswana, marrying Botswana girls, getting the passport, then going to other people's countries with the passport from Botswana, then asking for asylum. So that's dirty on the reputation of Botswana. Are UK people allowed to go to Botswana visa-free? Like I said, Botswanan people used to go to UK with no visa. Now, are UK people allowed to come to Botswana? Up until now, yes. Even though the UK say from now on you must apply for a visa, people from UK can still go to Botswana visa-free. Is this fair? Question mark. Should Botswana retaliate? Or should Botswana fix something? Now, that's depend on Botswana's choice. Will Botswana prioritize its relationship with the UK or prioritize its Africanness, helping other African people with shuttle countries to get opportunity to get passport from Botswana so they can run away from it? It's not because they love Botswana they're acquiring Botswana's passport. It's because they want to run away from Africa. No, who want to be used? Nobody wants to be used. Even the richest person in the world don't want to be used for his money. Does that make sense? Now, the UK has imposed some border control. So airline will now face £2,000 fine per passenger if they board Botswana national without proper documentation. So if you get into the airplane and you go to the UK and your documentation is not correct, the airline will be fined £2,000 per person. So that's a way to protect themselves as a government and also put pressure on airline companies. Well, this is a trend right now. I mean, it's happened to Namibia as well. This is Namibia on the post. Namibians now also have to get a visa to the UK. Many years ago, they never needed to get any visa to the UK. They could fly. South Africans could fly to the UK and Canada, I believe, or the other way around. There was Namibia on the UK, Ireland, and Canada, where people could go for free, no visa, until many Africans came from other African countries, went to those countries, marrying, lying to those ladies, getting passports, and running away. That is very sad. Then people talk about shit old country and you get upset. They're not talking about my country. I mean, you got to respect yourself, man. You have some self-respect. You know, I mean, if I were a president of a country and you come to my country, you get my passport so you can go to another country and apply for asylum, I'm banning your entire country from coming in. Let me know how you feel about this. Is the UK correct? Should Botswana retaliate by saying, okay, from now on, UK cannot come into my country in the name of dignity? Or Botswana should say, you know what, I don't want none of you guys' businesses. Because in other words, the UK says because we have to scrutinize with the people you accepting with your $75,000. We don't know those people. They could be dangerous to our country. But the problem is Donald Trump offered a very similar thing to the world. He said if you give $1 million, you get the American citizenship. Now, did the UK say to America, all those people getting the American citizenship need to be scrutinized? They didn't say that. But for Botswana, who are asking for $75,000, they want to scrutinize them. They want to actually drop down completely. Fellas, Akon's wife of 29 years has filed for divorce. 29 years. Filed for divorce. It's crazy, yeah? I see you shaking. Yes. Tomeka Tiam, Akon's wife, 29 years of marriage, filed for divorce. And she wants a part of the cake. How much is that? She's asking for $100 million in settlement for the divorce. Welcome to the United States of America. It's crazy stuff. I mean, people do divorce in Africa, but let's stick to Akon, okay? Akon's wife of 29 years filed for divorce, and she wants $100 million. And this is crazy stuff. The craziest part is still to come. The craziest part is they've just found out, everybody's shook, you know, to be informed that Akon has been found to only have in his balance $10,000. Yes, Akon. You know who Akon is. He's a big artist, big figure, you know, in entertainment from Senegal, where he was born, moved to the United States of America, I believe. Not 100% sure what's happened in his childhood, but yeah, he's made a big name for himself. And Akon, who's known for big businesses, big enterprises, big investment, electricity, energy, and Akon Town and all that project stuff, to be found with only $10,000. Now, reports say that most of the money, most of the assets Akon does have are all registered on his mother's name. Crazy stuff. So basically, his wife of 29 years, Mwekassa, has filed for divorce, asking for $100 million. I mean, a woman doesn't ask for $100 million, not knowing exactly what a man's got, right? So she knows what he's got. Because I know generally it is estimated that Akon is about $80 million, but she filed for $100 million, surely because she understands and knows her husband, okay? But then they found out that the man in his bank account only has $10,000. And I see many fellas here very happy, laughing, saying that she tried to extort him and that was unacceptable and stuff like that. Do you really feel that way? Don't you feel that she deserves some recognition for 29 years of her life? I mean, giving 29 years of your life to somebody is it's not a game. It's a lifetime. 29 years of contribution, of sharing, of building together, of listening to one another's pain, of soothing one another. And I know Akon is not necessarily the most easiest person to be with. I mean, if you listen to him, he speaks about polygamy and many other things. I mean, there's nothing wrong with polygamy for people who believe in polygamy.
It's impossible for a man to be monogamous. It's not in his nature.
Yes, polygamy is when you have multiple wives. Okay, you see that a lot in Africa, in many African countries. Yeah, many African countries: Uganda, Kenya, South Africa, Ouagadougou, Burundi. You find polygamous couples. Senegal. Actually, the president of Senegal, this man right here, has got 2 wives. Yes, he's the current president of Senegal. He's got 2 wives. They don't fight each other. Okay, they don't fight one another. They're very happy with it, and I think it's easy for them as well because when you are born in an environment where polygamy is normal, it's not crazy at all. Okay, it's easy for you to accept it. Just like you're born in an environment where you're Christians, you find it normal, to pray God or believe that God made a woman pregnant and the woman gave birth. I mean, it sounds normal to Christians. It doesn't necessarily sound normal to Buddhists or other people. You hear me out. It's the same for you when you hear a story about Hinduism believing in many gods, different gods. You find it absurd, right? They also find you absurd, trust me. So people tend to believe what they're born into, okay? Naturally. So you being born in a foreign land, I know it's a lot of Americans here and Caribbeans and stuff, don't necessarily understand how could one man have many wives. It doesn't make sense and stuff. Well, there are many things that you do that people find senseless, like men being with other men, women with other women. In America and elsewhere, people will say you need to respect people's choices, right? You can respect people's choices, my body, my choice. Well, many people in Africa find that crazy. Like, how do you do that? How do you do that? You know what I'm saying? In some places in Africa, it's prohibited completely, like Uganda. You cannot allow yourself to be openly a man that likes other men. You will go to jail for that. And if they find out that you sort of trained, if not pushed somebody into liking it, you're going to go to jail big time. And if you have intimacy with somebody and you have the disease that doesn't have a cure and all of a sudden that person turns positive from you, they're going to unalive you.
The problem is that, yes, you are disoriented. You have got a problem to yourself. Now, don't try to recruit others now. If you try to recruit people into a disorientation, then we go for you. We punish you. That's number one. But secondly, if you violently grab some children and you rape them and so on, we kill you. And that one I totally support and I will support.
So you see, culture is about how you grew up. It's also the environment in which you developed. Well, Akon, where he comes from, it's Senegal. In Senegal, polygamy is normal. And Akon is known to have at least 4 wives, officially. We're not talking about concubines or girlfriend. We're talking about 4 official wives.
But you're in a relationship with how many people?
I got 4 wives. BBLs, no BBLs? I don't care. Oh, yeah. All right, cool.
4 wives.
Now, how do you become polygamous? Because maybe your father was polygamous. Maybe your great-grandfather was polygamous. Maybe you learned it. But also, you need to have money. Because as much as it looks like, just changing tires, it's not changing tires. This is families you're building with women. Because it's different from dating outside your marriage. It's something you agree upon, culturally and traditionally.
Like in Africa, it's a tradition. So it's just a different lifestyle.
All your wives are African?
Nah, they all American, actually.
But you gotta have money for that. Because if you buy a G-Wagon for wife number 1, wife number 2 or number 3 also may want a Range Rover, if not a G-Wagon like the first one. So you need to have the means and the politics. If wife number 1 lived in a big house with a swimming pool, wife number 2 doesn't want to live in a house that doesn't look like a decent house. You know what I'm saying? Now, who is this lady? Her name is Mwekassa. Mwekassa apparently is also originally from West Africa, specifically from Senegal. That's what's reported. Even though she was born in the United States of America, her parents and her roots are in Senegal. Therefore, she understands the culture properly. Now, what could be the reason why they divorced? Well, she says it's unreconcilable problems. I know I didn't say that in English properly. You will excuse me. I'm not English. I'm not British. I can only give you what I got. So you understand the terms. It means they have problems beyond repair. Okay? They cannot repair this anymore. Now, this is the reason that many people bring forward when either they choose not to repair or they're tired of the relationship or whatever. Maybe it's really that. Now, could Akon have been cheating or, being with other women besides those other women? Question mark. Is Akon a womanizer? Well, we know he doesn't want to have one wife.
How many wives for real? Now, big boy, that would always leave the speculation. Really? I like it. I like that people guess.
Okay, well, just do this. I have 1. Do you have more than me?
Yes, without a doubt. Wow. See, your life is difficult because you got to just focus on one thing all the time.
That's difficult?
It's difficult, yeah.
So
the more wives, the better the life.
It's easier to focus on more?
It's a lot more.
Oh, wow. Okay, explain that to me because it feels like this one that I have, that awesome. Focus, it seems like it'd be harder to focus on more.
Well, okay, put it this way. And I would hate to put an analogy this way because I don't want it to be taken differently. But
it will.
You have,
social media.
Yeah, it will anyway. So what? So let's say hypothetically you got 4 Ferraris. Different colors.
Right.
Every day you dress your outfit, you know which one to pull in, right? It makes your life easier. But when you have only one red one,
right,
then you're like, damn, how am I going to look in this one tomorrow and the next week? Right. So every day is a concentration of how, you can't wear the same outfit every day.
But does that make him a womanizer? We don't know, question mark. Was he perhaps brutal or aggressive? Well, that's something we don't know. What are the reasons that will make a woman change her mind after 29 years? That's very, very important to find out. It must have been either something really, really deep. I'm just thinking for myself here. For me to turn my mind, turn my heart away from you after 29 years, what have you done to me? You must have done something really, really. Maybe you have slept with somebody. Okay, that's, yeah. You insulted my mother? I don't know. Like 29 years. I know women to be very strong. Usually they will take it. But 29 years and decide to leave? What has Akon done to this lady? Question mark. Now, my issue is this one. Should she... No, before we get to that, let me continue with another story. Then I'll bring a conclusion to this. Now, this is not the first time, okay? I know a lot of people feel very angry. A lot of people are happy for Akon. Women are very angry because, after 29 years, you find out that your husband has $10,000 in bank, not 100 million. That's a major disappointment. Definitely. Well, something like this is not the first time it occurs. It has happened many times before in the past. There's a story of a soccer player named Hakimi. I don't know if you heard of Hakimi Ashraf. This man right here, originally from Northern Africa. He played soccer his whole life in Madrid. He learned how to play soccer. Went to be signed by one of the biggest clubs in Europe, in Real Madrid. He was a very good player. He was signed up, making big money and stuff like that. At 24 years old, he was married to a woman. Hiba Abouk, 36 years old. You can see there's a big age gap. Okay, 24, 36. How many women do you know at 36 would marry a man at 24? For the name of love? Not very much. Because when a man is 2 years younger than you already, you go like, nah, he's too young. Especially if you're in the same tax bracket, right? So what kind of reason would let a woman marry a man that's literally 10 years younger, if not more? You better ask yourself a question. Well, the man was a multi-millionaire, great soccer player from a big team, okay? And she had a career as well as an actress and also as a model. She was beautiful, surely, but the man was an asset. Now, after a situation they had, what happened with this man was Ashraf Hakimi was accused of rape by some other lady. Accused of rape, and he denied the allegation, saying he didn't do anything. He wasn't involved. And when he was accused of rape, that's when the woman went and asked for divorce, whilst the court's case was still ongoing. So many people blame her, saying she didn't support him. She didn't provide him with support. I mean, you have a husband. If you love your husband, even though he's accused of rape, and especially if he denies the allegation, why don't you support him? Why do you divorce your husband whilst he's going through a very difficult time? And I know maybe they had other issues and other difficulties, because she said she was looking to divorce him anyway before the rape allegation. But why did she lay the issue to court whilst the man was already in trouble with an allegation of rape? Now, guess what happened? After she asked for divorce, expecting tens of millions of dollars, well, they found out that the assets of the man were registered under his mother. It's his stuff, isn't it? So he could not give her anything. Matter of fact, she was the one to give him half of her money because she had literally more money than him officially. Now, is this malicious? Is it smart? I don't know. You let me know how you feel about that. Do you think the woman should have given him the benefit of the doubt because that's her husband? Or maybe because she knows that's her husband. It's maybe not the first time, they've been to situations. We'll never know. We only hear the stories that come out. Maybe she accepted many times, many things that we don't know about. And that was just a situation that was too much and she just couldn't handle it. Well, the bottom line is, later on, after the verdict came out, he was not guilty of rape. Okay? And the woman he married was the one to give him money. Was that a good thing or malicious? I mean, there are many cases. There's a situation of Israel Adesanya. Remember the MMA guy? Yes, the woman took him to court and stuff like that. And I don't know what he did, but he had nothing to pay to her. And actually, she was worth $500,000 and she was to pay him $500,000. Now, my question is this one, okay? There are many people that have put their money into their family's name to shield it from situations like this. I mean, there's Kanye West as well. Kanye West has put money under Donda West, who is his mother, to shield himself into situations like this. Michael Jackson put most of his assets into his family name. Okay, we also have Floyd Mayweather that shielded a lot of his assets, all the properties that he's got under his mother's name. Is this a good thing or not? Now, my other question is this one, fellas. I know a lot of people are clapping, saying, yes, these women are materialistic and stuff like that. When you spend 29 years of your life with a woman who clearly has contributed greatly into your life, you don't think she deserves money from you or assets or good things from you? Like 29 years of your life, you've been out there fighting, battling the world. You've won big fights in life. You've made a lot of money and you built empires. You don't think she deserves? Would you really show $10,000 to a woman that have contributed 29? I mean, let's say she was a bad woman. Who would stay with a bad woman for 29 years? I'm just asking you a question. Look, women can endure very, very long. Women can accept a lot of negative things for long. Men cannot. When a man is over you, you're gonna see it it's done. A woman can stay with you for a long time, even though, she can say, oh, maybe tomorrow. Men don't know how to do that. Okay, so if she was really, really bad to Akon for 29 years, I think 29 years is a long time for a man to get rid of you. Do you agree? Now, do you think she deserves money out of this man or not? Well, maybe $100 million is a lot of money. Okay, some people will say, if you truly love your man, would you ask him for $100 million? Or are you just trying to milk him out and dry him up? Because some women, we've seen it in many situations where they say, because he's cheated on me or he's done me wrong, I'm going to take everything he's got. Do you think her intentions were perhaps to take everything he's got? Therefore, Akon also thought forward before she thought on how to bring him down. He protected himself by shielding himself. No, my other question is this one. Do you think if she really, really loved him, she would have asked for $100 million? Or she would have just asked for, okay, I just want $20 million perhaps. I just want maintenance enough so I can have a decent life. My take is very simple. I believe if somebody contributed greatly in your life, they deserve to be looked after. No doubt about that. Matter of fact, I have a friend of mine that was going through divorce and stuff like that. And he had multiple houses. And even though his wife left him for another man, she thought she would be entitled to half of his assets. And because he did not leave the house, he did not do anything wrong, just to say that she didn't deserve anything, none of the houses, and nothing. I told him, brother, this is the mother of your children, okay? You have multiple houses. It doesn't hurt you to just give her one. You've gone through justice. Things are clearly on your side because you were the good person here. Don't take everything from her. This is the mother of your children anyway. You've got, I don't know how many kids you got together, like more than 3. That's already a lot. You've been through a lot. You've traversed many things for many years. It's okay. You have multiple houses. Let her be with one. Because the bottom line is your children are probably going to sleep there from time to time, if not all the time. You know what I'm saying? Let me know how you feel about this. Is this clever or not? From Akon. Do you think she suffered a lot and she's protected him for way too long and she deserved to be looked after? Or do you think maybe $100 million is too much money and she had other plans? Do you think a woman can love you for 29 years and hate you after 29 years to a point where he actually wants to shut you down and take everything you got? I want to know how you feel about this. God bless.